Good morning, good evening, and welcome to my free video training. And this video today, my name is Sean Leach, just in case you've forgotten. In this video training, I want to show you and go through in a little bit of detail 5 easy steps to tone up by simply increasing your protein intake, so you can lose weight easier and fit into clothes more comfortably. And that's what you just seen before that slide. I'm jumping ahead. I'm getting carried away. I'm excited. I've had 2 cups of coffee, so I'm going to be zooming through these slides. So here's what you're going to get today. I'm not going to waste any of your time. I'm going to give you an easy to apply, step-by-step approach to increase protein intake each day so you can tone up easier and faster. It is one of the easiest and fastest way to lose body fat. I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to show you a simple step-by-step guide on how to do so and how to include protein around your training times. Super important. I know it's debatable whether the average Joe can benefit, but I'm going to explain to you why it's beneficial for women to especially include protein around their training times, so you can increase your chances of getting better results. And I'll give you a high protein meal guide so you know what foods to eat and when. You can follow that step by step if you want. And you're going to learn why protein is so important for women during the menstrual cycles and menopause for best weight loss and toning results. So here's why this is important. Protein is the most important aspect of weight loss, and you probably aren't getting enough. All my clients tell me that they struggle to get protein sources in each meal. You always go for the quick, convenient stuff, and oftentimes that's very carb based. And so I'm going to explain why protein is so important for your weight loss results. And understand the protein sources which will make your weight loss journey easier. And excuse me, it can seem hard to include protein with each meal, as I just mentioned. A lot of my clients struggle with, so I'll show you how you can do so easier. Most of you might not even know what protein sources are. Some people have actually told me that they're not 100% sure what protein sources are. What is protein exactly? And with the vegan market growing, protein can be low in some people who are training hard and heavy, and misunderstood as well. So I'm going to clear up some things as well. With protein added in every product on the shelves, it's important to know the best choices to make. You can't go on a shelf down in Sainsbury's at the moment without seeing protein on your cereal, protein in your honey, protein in your coffee, protein in this, protein in that. There's protein in everything, because the people behind these companies, they understand the importance of protein and the growth of the impact the protein has. And with health and fitness rising, there's a correlation that you need to have the increase in protein as well. But the reality is you can't just dump protein into an already subpar product, brand it with protein filled on the front, and think that it's all of a sudden it's healthier and better for you. That is not the case at all, and I'll explain why. So here's how this video will help you. You'll know exactly what to eat when you're out with friends, and you can still enjoy your meals out so you don't feel restricted. You'll get faster return results so you can feel better in the clothes you love. You'll get faster and more efficient weight loss results so your clothes will fit again. Faster recovery so you can train more and get even better results. You'll feel less tired and fatigued around your training times, so ultimately you're going to feel more motivated. You'll feel less tired and sluggish on your cycle so you can still train on your cycle and not use it as an excuse. And you'll have maximum energy and strength even on your cycle so you can train well every single month. So just going to briefly summarize why protein. A high protein diet helps build muscle tone and drop body fat. Ultimately, that will result in a more toned and confident body. Without enough protein, the body can potentially tap into the muscle stores for energy for someone who is exercising hard using cardio. It's one of the common mistakes I see people do is they're trying to get in shape. They'll hammer themselves to death for cardio. They'll go out for long runs. They'll go into the treadmill on the cross trainer when they go into the gym. They'll go to spinning classes and body bump classes, and they'll do lots of high energy cardio activity in the pursuit of getting in shape. But if you don't have a high protein diet, especially being a woman, which I'll explain later on down the line, if you don't have a high protein diet and you're not balancing your high cardio efforts with a good weightlifting routine, you're going to actually lose shape and tone. And I've seen it in many of my clients. I've seen it in many people. I've been doing this for over 2.5, almost 3 years. 3 years in December. I see it in a lot of people. The pursuit to get in shape with good exercise. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but they're not balancing that out with a weightlifting routine and high protein diet. So ultimately, you start to lose shape. And the best way I can describe this is if you think of a long distance marathon runner over a sprinter. A long distance runner, a marathon runner, for example, you know the people, Paula Radcliffe and Mo Farah, very, very thin. Their training is solely based on long distance running, very similar to the average gym person who will do a lot of running, a lot of cycle in the pursuit of losing weight. And, you know, if they do it properly, then they will lose a lot of weight. But a lot of that weight will also be in muscle tissue, just as the same as it is with a marathon runner. You don't necessarily need a lot of muscle tissue as a marathon runner. In fact, the thinner the better. It's more about being cardiovascular fit. But if you look at a sprinter and a more well-rounded athlete, such as Jessica Ennis-Hill and other, 200, 400-meter runners, hurdlers, they focus more on short power bursts of training. They lift weights and they eat a high-protein, more balanced diet. And because of that, they have a more well-rounded, toned physique. Not saying that you need to be in as good a quality shape as a sprinter or an athlete by any means, of course, but it just goes to show the difference in how the body will develop depending on what type of training you go for. If you go solely down the route of cardio with very, very little weights, which marathon runners do a little bit, of course, to maintain a level of strength in their muscles so they're not too weak. And that's important, and that's why weight training is important to combine with running, but they're not trying to build any real muscle tissue. Now, a sprinter, even the females, obviously they build a lot of muscle tissue because they're athletes. But even just a general gym goer can balance a good amount of weight training and a good amount of cardio with a high protein diet and feel a lot more toned and in shape. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about just getting in shape, not about building massive muscles like an athlete, but just getting in good shape needs a combination of all them three things. And that's one of the age-old mistakes that I think a lot of people make in the pursuit of getting in shape. And I'm going to talk about this in more detail throughout this presentation. And having a protein source at each meal is one of the easiest ways to ensure you get enough protein in your diet. You don't have to count your macros and your calories and all that nonsense. I mean, you can if you want to and you enjoy it and you benefit from it. I'm not saying it's unimportant and you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's not necessary for the average person anyway. Okay, so here's a list of protein sources you get in this video here. You can refer to this anytime you want. It's even got some grams in there. I'm not a big fan of counting the grams and stuff, but it gives you an idea of the quantity of protein that you can get in a lot of common foods that you'll see in the supermarkets. Ones that are easy enough to buy, and you've got a mixture of different foods in there which would suit a vegetarian, a vegan, and someone who does eat meat. So I'm going to just quickly pass through that one because you can refer back to this at any time. So protein around training time. So this is the best practice. Whether you're just doing cardio or you're doing a mixture of both, it's super important to have a protein sources in and around your training times. This is so because I touched on before, so your body doesn't eat into muscle tissue and you get too thin and you don't maintain your muscle shape. Remember, muscles provide the body with the shape and the feel and the tone and the look of the body. If you take muscles out of your body, you're just literally a skeleton. So remember that providing the muscles with what they need, protein and weights, you will build tone and shape. Run yourself into the ground with cardio over time without combating that with good quality food and a little bit of weight training. You're going to find that you lose a lot of shape. You'll feel like you have no bone, your legs are getting skinny, you'll maybe a bit of loose skin, your arms are getting too skinny. You'll notice, and I hear it all the time from all my clients. So here's one of the easiest ways to get around it. If you train in the evening, 2 to 4 hours before you train, you can have a meat or a meat alternative protein source from the list that I mentioned before with some vegetables, or you can have like something lighter like a 4-egg omelette a couple of hours before you train on the evening times. It's better to have something before you train. I know a lot of my clients are very guilty of this, having 5, 6 plus hours, maybe not even eating anything from lunchtime to an evening training session. That's a bad idea. If you're going to be doing that consistently, you're not going to get the toning results that you want. Post-exercise, within 30 minutes, this is debatable, but I think it's super, super important for women. It's based on a lot of solid research, and I back it. I do it with my clients. It helps them get great results. Within 30 minutes of exercising, 5 branched-chain amino acid tablets, plenty of water and a banana straight into your system especially after a weight training session, but also just as important after a cardio workout as well. And then depending on what time you finish, you can have your tea afterwards, if it's earlier in the evening that you're training. In the morning, again, it's best not to do anything fasted. If you can eat in the morning, you can have some eggs. If you're not up for eating, a high protein smoothie is listed there. Or you can have almond butter, high in protein, on some low GI bread. Rye Vita or other good quality crisp breads can be included. You can do a fasted workout, but having the branched chain amino acids is a better thing to have, because amino acids is what the muscles need to maintain their muscle shape, tone, and strength. Simply put. And again, afterwards in the morning, having the tablets straight away, and then from there you just have your normal days eating, depending on what time you're training, but always focusing on a protein source with each meal. And here is an example of the protein sources that you can have at each meal time, and different options you've got available. You can mix and match between them. You can completely ditch all of them. It just gives you an idea of the sources of food that you can have in each meal, a little bit of variety in there as well. And it just gives you an idea, just gives you an example. If you're completely unknown to this kind of stuff, you can just follow this straight off the bat. It will get you a good result in a couple of weeks. You'll feel less bloated. You'll feel like you've got more energy. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel more motivated. When you're training, you'll feel better. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel more toned. So give it a shot. So why protein during your menstrual cycle? Well, what I was talking about before about research is one of my favorite books is a book by Stacey Sims, Raw. And she suggests that you need to take the branched chain amino acid tablets in and around the training times if you're a woman, especially throughout the month. She says that good practice is to do this anyway, but it's equally as important during your menstrual cycle because it helps to fight your mojo. And as I was talking about before, what being important for women is because the female hormones, they're already breaking down muscle tissue anyway, which is why women find it more difficult to build muscle tone compared to men, because you have less testosterone. But it's not just the fact you have less testosterone. The female hormones actually combat muscle tone, and they're not favorable for muscle tone. They don't promote it. They actually are in a continuous cycle of breaking down muscle tissue. So it's harder, which is why you need more protein in and around your training times and the protein source with each meal to help make it easier. So you can get more tone. And like I say, you can. There's a lot of strong women out there who do CrossFit and powerlifting and athletes. So it's not impossible. It can be done. Not saying you have to get to that level. It's just you've got to be concentrating on having protein source as much as you possibly can. I'll always go for an organic natural whey protein if you're going to go for it. I do prefer the branched chain amino acid tablets, but yogurts and nuts are also good protein sources to have around training. Peanut and almond butter into a smoothie with avocado, something you can just blend up and have dead quick and easy. Those are the easiest choices to go for. And that's a good practice throughout the month, but during the menstrual cycle, it's recommended to follow this process to help. So at this point, I know you downloaded this video, got to this point here. You've probably been trying lots and lots of ways to unlock your weight loss success many times. Maybe you've tried losing weight in the past, you have great success, you've restricted yourself loads, you got your money back from some sort of program, or whatever you've done, you've achieved something, but then you haven't a clue how to sustain it. Or you just think, right, job done, put your feet up and you go back to old habits, and all of a sudden the weight's back on again and you're back to square one. Well, hopefully I can eradicate that. That is my goal. I help people to sustain that weight loss through good quality habits, which we spoke about today, and which you'll continue to hear about from me as well. So here's the thing. You can take all this information, you can try and do it on your own, you can take all of it and get to work, and it would get you a good result if you stuck to everything that I've spoke about today. You've implemented everything. You have a protein source for each meal. You have them foods in and around your training times. You get to work in the gym lifting some weights, combining that with your cardio. That's absolutely fine. If you do that over the next month, you will get a good result, a really, really good result. Or you can skip that month of guessing, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Is this the right way to lift the weights? Am I doing the right amount of cardio? Is this the right amount of protein? The wasted purchases that you might be trying along the way. Maybe it's recipe books, another diet book, another Davina McCall DVD. And you can just get help from someone who has spent nearly 3 years helping hundreds of people just like you lose 14 to 20 pounds or even more in 90 days or less without giving up their life to do it, which means you don't have to go through the restrictions that you've normally went through of putting the weight, losing the weight dead quickly, putting it all back on, and just going through that cycle over and over again. You can actually get great weight loss results and tone up as well. Because I am looking right now for more dream clients, which is why I want to offer you today a free transformation call so we can figure out what you want and how to make it happen easier and in the fastest time possible. So this is how it'll all work. We will help you, or I will help you, sorry, put together a clear-cut plan to help you lose 14, 20 pounds over the next 90 days. No more confusion. This will be implementing this kind of stuff we spoke about and other stuff. It'll give you a nice plan for you to go ahead and do the work. And you'll understand how to sustain that loss so you don't bounce from diet to diet as usual. And there'll be a good chance to ask me some questions and get free help from someone who's helped hundreds of people just like you over the past 2 plus nearly 3 years now. You might be wondering, why am I doing this? Well, simple. 2 reasons. First reason is I care about helping people get great results. This is my full-time job and it's my passion, and I genuinely want to help people. My second reason is I want to grow my business. And by showing I can help you, you may well become a client of mine paying £150 per month for a guaranteed result. That's what my clients currently pay me over a 90-day program to get a specific result with absolute certainty and accountability. And then you can tell all your friends how good I am and even help more people grow my business at the same time. So I want to be perfectly clear, this is not a sales call. I hate selling. If you've heard much about me in the past, I used to work with Virgin Media for nearly 3 years, a sales job, hated, despised every minute. It was inbound at first, so it was easy. It was just going through a process to get sales, really. But then it became harder and harder, and you had to sell more. Selling is not something that comes naturally to me. Selling is not something I enjoy doing. I'm not going to have you on the phone trying to hard sell you and pressure you into something you don't want to do. I want to have a chat with you. I want to talk to you about your problems. I want to help you put in place something that can help you going forward so you don't have to keep bouncing from diet to diet. In fact, if this conversation will be 20 to 30 minutes is a complete waste of your time, I will pay you £20. Now, that's probably an hour's wage for you or something like that. Now, I can't help everyone, so I don't want anyone who's interested in making excuses. I want people who understand that need to have skin in the game, they're open-minded to new approaches, you're willing to learn and listen to what I'm saying, and you're driven to make a change now and not put it off anymore. So here is how to apply. If you go to this link and fill in a short application form, I can't help everyone, so I'm not going to speak to everyone. If I can help you, I will text you and arrange a time to call. If I don't think your circumstances is something that I can help you with, I'll just send you a text message as well. I'll just say, look, sorry, I don't think I can help with the current circumstance you're in, but I'll point you in a direction of someone who might be able to help you better, or a resource that might be able to help you better based on what's going on in your life right now. So I just want to be perfectly clear, I can't help everyone. Even if you fill in an application form, I might not even still be able to help you still. And I'll be totally honest about that. I'm doing this, I'm giving up my time to help the people who I know I can help, and also for the people who want my help most. And that's why I'm doing this for free. So I will text you and be open and honest about the situation going forward. So if you fill in this short form, and I will speak to you very soon. Take care and bye-bye.